Welcome back to Narrations, the place where classic films come alive again through storytelling. If you love revisiting unforgettable movies with a fresh perspective, you're in the right spot. Today, we're diving into one of the most chilling, unsettling, and iconic horror films ever made. A movie that has haunted audiences for decades, blending psychological dread with supernatural terror. This is The Shining, directed by Stanley Kubrick, released in 1980. Our story begins with a long drive into the Colorado Rockies. Jack Torrance, a struggling writer and recovering alcoholic, has just accepted a winter caretaker position at the isolated Overlook Hotel. It's a sprawling, luxurious mountain resort that shuts down each winter because of the heavy snow. Jack sees this as an opportunity, months of peace and quiet to finish his writing, with his wife Wendy and young son Danny joining him. But the hotel carries a dark history that no one in Jack's family is prepared for. During the job interview, Jack learns a disturbing detail. Years earlier, a caretaker named Charles Grady murdered his wife and two young daughters before killing himself. Jack brushes it off, insisting he isn't superstitious and won't let the hotel's past affect him. But even before they arrive, Danny, who possesses a mysterious psychic ability called The Shining, senses something is wrong. Danny's visions often come as disturbing flashes, blood rushing through hallways, terrifying figures, and warnings from his imaginary friend, Tony. When the Torrances settle into the vast, empty hotel, its grandeur quickly turns eerie. Long corridors, echoing ballrooms, and endless rooms amplify the sense of isolation. The chef, Dick Halloran, notices Danny's ability and quietly explains it. The Shining is a gift that allows certain people to see into the past, glimpse the future, and sense spirits. Halloran warns Danny to avoid room 237, hinting at something terrible lurking there. At first, the family enjoys their solitude. Jack works on his writing, Wendy explores the hotel, and Danny plays in the hallways. But the snow begins to pile up, cutting them off completely from the outside world. Slowly, the atmosphere turns oppressive. Jack becomes restless and irritable, lashing out at Wendy and resenting interruptions to his work. Meanwhile, Danny's visions intensify. He sees the ghostly Grady twins in the hall, silently inviting him to come play forever. He glimpses rivers of blood pouring from the elevator. The hotel, alive with its haunted past, is drawing Danny in, feeding on his gift. Wendy notices Jack's behavior deteriorating. His temper flares without reason, and when she checks his manuscript, she's horrified. Page after page contains the same single line. All work and no play makes Jack a dull boy. He hasn't written a novel, he's been unraveling. Danny, unable to resist, ventures into room 237. There, he encounters a vision of a beautiful woman who transforms into a rotting corpse before his eyes. Shaken, he later appears with strangulation marks on his neck. Wendy blames Jack, but Jack himself has had a terrifying experience in that same room, realizing the hotel's spirits are undeniably real. From this point on, Jack is no longer himself. The Overlook has claimed him. He begins to converse with ghosts in the hotel bar, including the charming but sinister bartender Lloyd, who offers him endless drinks. In the bathroom, Jack meets Delbert Grady, the previous caretaker who murdered his family. Grady insists that Jack must correct his wife and child, convincing him that they are standing in the way of his destiny. With a maniacal grin and madness in his eyes, Jack gives in. He grabs an axe and stalks through the hotel, determined to carry out the same gruesome fate as Grady. Wendy, realizing the danger, grabs Danny and hides. The tension explodes in the film's most famous scene, Jack hacking through a bathroom door with his axe, leaning through the splintered wood, and bellowing, "Here's Johnny!" Wendy screams in terror as Jack's madness reaches its peak. But Danny proves resourceful. Using his Shining, he reaches out to Halloran all the way in Florida. Feeling the psychic call, Halloran rushes back to the hotel despite the snowstorm. Tragically, as soon as he arrives, Jack ambushes him and kills him with the axe. But Halloran's sacrifice buys Wendy and Danny time. Danny leads his father into the hotel's vast hedge maze outside. Jack, freezing and deranged, chases him through the snowy labyrinth, shouting and swinging his axe. But Danny is clever. He backtracks through his own footprints, confusing his father and disappearing into the night. Jack, unable to follow, becomes lost. Exhausted, freezing, and consumed by madness, he collapses in the snow and dies, his frozen face twisted in rage. The film closes with an unsettling revelation. In the hotel, a photograph from 1921 shows a group of partygoers, and among them, smiling at the center, is Jack Torrance. Was he always part of the Overlook? Did the hotel claim him forever? The mystery lingers, leaving audiences unsettled to this day. The Shining is more than a haunted house story. It's about isolation, obsession, and the thin line between reality and madness. With its slow, creeping dread, unforgettable imagery, and Jack Nicholson's terrifying performance, it remains one of the greatest horror films ever made. That was The Shining. If you enjoy psychological horror that lingers in your mind long after the credits roll, this is a must-watch. If you like this narration, don't forget to check out the movie itself. Share this video with other horror fans, and make sure to like, subscribe, and hit the bell for more classic movie journeys. Until next time, this is Narrations, where movies live again.